To me, it looks like something Snow White would wear. It's just beautiful. Hi everyone, my name's Jessica and welcome back to my channel, Knits Made by J. Okay, so there were 10 patterns that were released in June that I am very excited to share today. Out of the 10, 8 of those patterns are tops. 1 is a dress, and lastly, the other pattern is an accessory. I did notice a design feature that seems to be really popular right now is adding the design element of lace. And out of the 8 tops, all 8 have that element of lace in their design. I personally love lace. I love to wear it. I love to knit it. And yeah, I'm super excited to share these patterns with you today. So let's get right down to it. Okay, so the first pattern I want to talk about today is the Penelope top by Sari Nordlund. This is another beautiful release from this designer. It is a top constructed from the top down in stockinette stitch. It is started at the shoulders, and then those shoulders are joined at the neck, and then the front and back are joined at the underarm, and then afterwards you will work on a I-cord drawstring for around the waist, which will help cinch in the top and give it a little bit more shape. And then once you're finished with that, at the very end, you'll work on a lace pattern, which is just absolutely stunning. The designer recommends using Sadness Garn Teen Lena or Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. If you're not going to use either of those yarns, the designer recommends using a fingering weight yarn that is made up with either silk or cotton or viscose or linen or some combination of those. And that's just to help provide the top with some drape. So if you look at the top, you'll notice that it is a little bit see-through. I personally think that's perfect for a summer top. I think it would be great for wearing over a light vest top underneath if you like, or it would be great for days when you're by the pool or at the beach and you're just looking for something to throw on over your bathing suit for a little bit more coverage. I think this top is beautiful and I will definitely be adding it to my list, if not for this summer, maybe for next summer. So that is the Penelope top by Sari Nordlund. Okay, so the next pattern I want to talk about today is the Strawberry Pouch Bag Charm by Aleksandra Sołowianiuk. I absolutely love this pattern, so much so that I'm currently knitting up 2 of these for my daughters. They are so beautiful and just fun and cute and perfect for summer. These would be the perfect little charm bag to carry around with you when you're going to pick strawberries in the summer. The designer has recommended using Hobby Friends wool or Yarnsmith's Merino DK. I personally used a DK weight cotton and it's turning out beautifully. These are a great stash buster type project if you're looking for a way to use up some leftover yarn from prior projects. So the strawberry bag pouch is worked from the bottom up. You'll include some gradual increases as you work up the pattern to get that strawberry shape. And then as you get to the top of the strawberry, that's when you'll introduce the secondary color for those leaves. And for me, this was my first time ever knitting with 2 colors, so it was a great introduction to stranded color work, just simply because it's a smaller pattern and it's less intimidating, and I feel like the designer does a really good job of instructing you how to do that. And then as you get to the top of the pattern, you'll see that there is a beautiful little kind of like feature at the very top for the top of those leaves, and that's worked using a picot bind off. Again, not a knitting skill that I had prior to making this pattern, so that was really cool to learn too. And then lastly, you work an I-cord for the drawstring, and then if you're wanting to add something extra special, you can sew in some cutesy beads to mimic the seeds on a strawberry. Overall, I feel like this pattern is really cute and very clever in its construction, so I definitely would recommend this one. Okay, so the next pattern I want to talk about today is the Campanula Dress by Hermann Sørensen. Those of us who are familiar with the Campanula top have been eagerly awaiting the release of this pattern. It's beautiful. The designer describes this dress as romantic, and I tend to agree with that. It is a top-down constructed dress. It has saddle shoulders, beautiful ruffled edges, and then the pattern has a irregular rib worked throughout the dress too. It is just beautiful. When I look at it, I think it looks like, to me, it looks like something Snow White would wear. It's just beautiful. It is worked in a DK weight yarn. The designer uses BC Garn Big Bio Balance, and I've actually looked online at this yarn, and it has a beautiful selection of colors to choose from. One of the features that I love about this dress, in addition to the irregular rib pattern and the ruffled edges, is the way that this designer has worked the waist. She has included increases at the waist and hip to make sure that it fits everybody well, but she's done it in a way that is so sophisticated and looks so purposeful and intentional. It's just beautiful, and I feel like it really elevates the design of this pattern. And I also forgot to add that I think the strawberry charm pouches would just look so cute held while wearing this dress. They both scream summer, and I just think they'd be so cute together. So anyway, that is the Campanula Dress by Hermann Sørensen. Okay, so moving on to the next pattern, and that is the Ilse Sommarblus by Rosea. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. This top is just beautiful. It is a bell-shaped sleeve top that's worked from the top down in a beautiful lace motif throughout. The designer uses Sadness Garn Lena yarn, which is perfect for summer as it's made up with 53% cotton, 33% rayon, and 14% linen flax. She also recommends that Garn Studio Drops Bell is another yarn that would work for this pattern. And both of those yarns are DK weight yarn. The gauge is 21 stitches, and the needle size recommended is US size 6 and 4. So the blouse is worked from the top down, first using raglan increases, and then it is divided for sleeves. And the sleeves are worked straight with no decreases, which is what gives it those beautiful bell sleeves. And both the sleeves and the hem of the body are finished with a few rows of garter stitch. This blouse is so beautiful. I think it's perfect for summer, perfect for those summer nights when it starts to get a bit cooler and you're looking for another layer to throw on. And that was the Ilse Sommarblus by Rosea. So the next pattern I want to share with you today is the Winnie top by Lily Kate France. Now this top is just gorgeous. It's so elegant and timeless and chic. And the designer doesn't give away too much about how this top is constructed on Ravelry, other than to say that it is mainly stockinette stitch, and that the beautiful lace that you can see along the edge of the neckline and the hem of the arms and body are knitted up separately at the end after constructing the main body of the top. It's just beautiful. It's got a very elegant V-neck. It's not too low, but still shows off a little bit of the neckline. And then it has those beautiful, elegant cap sleeves that just really add to the beauty of this top. So the designer uses Cardiff Cashmere Classic, which is a gorgeous 100% goat cashmere. This yarn can be difficult to find in the US, and it is quite pricey. An alternative I feel like that would work really well could be the Knitting for Olive compatible cashmere held double. And this top has a gauge of 21.5 stitches by 29 rows, and the suggested needle that the designer recommends is US size 5. This top is beautiful. I feel like if I was to knit up this particular top, I would have it forever. It's just so elegant and timeless. It's stunning. And that is the Winnie top by Lily Kate France. The next pattern I'd like to share is the Bon Cardi by Mere Knits. I absolutely love this pattern. I'm dying to make it. It is a short sleeve V-neck cardigan that features a beautiful lace motif throughout the entirety of the garment, and then also the V-neck and hems of the body of the cardigan and the sleeves feature a beautiful lace detail. The designer recommends using Candid Terrerum Natura yarn, which is a French yarn, in a sport weight, and it is made up of 70% merino and 30% cotton, and it has a gauge of 23 stitches by 37 rows. The designer recommends using needle sizes 4 for the body of the cardigan, and then she also uses US 2.5 for that beautiful lace edging. The cardigan is constructed by first working the back panel and then joining at the shoulders and working down the front. It also joins the sleeves using German short rows. And the designer also points out that this cardigan would be even more elegant if you were to make the sleeves longer. And I think that's what's really special about this cardigan, is that you can make those sleeves longer and make this pattern look so, I don't know, feminine and elegant. Or you could keep those short sleeves and wear this cardigan open over perhaps a vest top, and it's almost, wearing it that way brings an edgy element to this garment. So for that reason, I feel like this garment is very versatile. It has those elements of edginess to it, yet it is super feminine because of the lace detail. Okay, so moving on to the next pattern I want to share, and it is another beautiful garment by Mere Knits. It is the Lily top. Now the Lily top is a gorgeous tank top that is worked from the bottom up, and it features a picot bind off at the hem. If you remember, the strawberry charm pouches that I talked about had this picot bind off in it too. This top also features a I-cord drawstring around the waist for that cinched in effect. And it also features a lace motif, which is worked vertically on each side of the tank top. The designer uses Camarosa's Pima Baumwolle yarn, which is a fingering weight yarn, and it's 100% Pima. She also recommends that you could use Rowan's Summerlight 4-ply or Satinez Garn's Tyne Lena. The gauge on this top is 28 stitches by 35 rows, and the designer recommends using US size 1.5 and 2.5. The designer suggests wearing this top either on its own, or you could layer it underneath a cardigan, or in the summer you could throw it on over your swimsuit for that extra coverage. The next pattern I want to talk about is the Pierre top by Johanna Gehrisch. This is another gorgeous lace motif constructed top. It is knit up in Kremke sole wool, which is a fingering weight yarn that's made up of 51% tencel and 49% cotton. The gauge of the Pierre top is 22 stitches by 30 rows, and the recommended needle size is US size 4. This is another gorgeous, classic, just elegant piece that will elevate any outfit during the summer months. So the next pattern I'd like to talk about is the Cloud Petal vest by Ahreum Lee. This vest is stunning and it really caught my eye when I was looking on Ravelry. It has this beautiful floral motif along the body, and then it's paired with this beautiful like dosh type lace motif alongside it too. And I think the ribbing along the underarms kind of provides like a more casual feature to the vest. The designer uses a 50% merino, 50% acrylic yarn. She doesn't specify the weight of the yarn, but looking at this pattern or the pictures of this vest, I would say, if I had to take a guess, it's probably an Aran weight yarn. The designer also doesn't give too much detail on how this vest is constructed, but she does recommend that it's for those who enjoy reading charts. And another thing about this piece is that it isn't particularly something you would wear in the summer months. The designer describes it as a great transitional piece to wear in between seasons. So, you know, think late winter into early springs, it starts to warm up, but it's still kind of chilly, or fall into winter, that type of time of year. And yeah, this vest, it's just, I don't have much else to add other than it's just stunning. It's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from this designer. Okay, so for the last pattern, but certainly not the least, it is the Thalia Sweater by Meghan Haughton. Now this is technically a July release, but I was so excited when I saw it. It was so strikingly beautiful to me, I had to include it. It features a beautiful lace motif throughout the body. It features a slight balloon sleeve, and it also features some picot bind-off edging. And so let's get into it. So this sweater is knit up using Knitting for Olives merino, held with their silk mohair. It has a gauge of 19 stitches by 25 rows, and the designer recommends using needle sizes US 6 and 2.5. So what I think is really unique about this sweater is the construction. It is knitted from the bottom up, and you work your way up in the round, and you form the armholes, and then you work the front panel and the back panel flat. And then after you complete those, you seam the shoulders together, and then you work the neck in the round. So I think the construction of this is quite special. It's not something I've seen before. So overall, my thoughts on this sweater are that it's striking. It's very striking. It's very beautiful. I love how it takes some very feminine design elements such as the lace motif and the picot bind off edging, and it makes it more edgy and more contemporary. For example, the shoulders are a drop shoulder, so that instantly makes it a little bit more casual of a piece. And the lace motif, while it's delicate, it's still quite large. It's a very large motif that I have yet to see in any other lace patterns out there right now. And I really feel like these design elements are what make this sweater really special and really stand out from the others. So there you have it. Those are my 10 picks from the June 2025 pattern releases. I would love to hear your opinions on the patterns that I talked about today. If you've made any of them, I would also love to hear about that in the comment section. Or if there's another pattern that you feel like I should have mentioned but didn't get around to, please let me know. I'm always open to learning about more patterns. If you liked my video, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.